All right, let's talk about taking your business global. And I mean really global. This isn't just about putting a product in a box and shipping it overseas. We're diving into the deep end, international marketing. So let's just get right to it and ask the big question, the one you've probably thought about. Is your business actually ready to cross borders? It's a huge step, one that could literally change everything. And, the answer is almost never a simple yes. Yeah, because going international, it's just so much more than the logistics of it all. It's not about finding the best shipping rate. We're talking about a fundamental shift, a complete strategic rethink of your entire business model. Okay, so let's get into it. The starting line. We've got to ask, why even bother? What really pushes a company to look beyond its own backyard and go global in the first place? All right, first things first, let's get a clear definition on the table. When we say international marketing, we're talking about the whole shebang. All the business activities like pricing, promotion, getting the product to people that guide your stuff to customers in more than one country. It's the full playbook, just coordinated across borders. So why take the leap? Well, there are a few classic reasons. Maybe your home market is kind of tapped out, or the competition is just getting way too intense. Sometimes it's as simple as having extra factory space you need to put to use. Or maybe it's about not putting all your eggs in one basket, diversifying your risk so if one economy takes a hit, you're not sunk. But honestly, the biggest reason is usually the simplest. You just want to grow. So, once you've figured out the why, the next massive question is how. How do you actually get in there? Think of it like a choose-your-own-adventure game, where every path has a different level of risk and a different potential reward. Okay, path number one, and it's the most common starting point, exporting. Super simple concept, right? You make your product at home and you ship it abroad to be sold. It's popular for a reason. It's the lowest financial risk to get started. It's kind of like dipping your toe in the water to test the temperature before you decide to build a whole new pool. All right, next option, licensing. This is interesting. You basically give another company in that foreign country permission to make your product using your patent or your brand name, and in return, you get a royalty fee. This is a really clever way to get around tricky trade barriers or to get into a market without having to spend a ton of money up front. Then you've got the joint venture. This is where you team up with a local company. You share everything, the control, the investment, the risk, and this can be a genius move, especially if you don't know the local market or don't have the right connections. You're basically partnering up to get that insider knowledge. Okay, now we're really jumping into the deep end of the pool, direct manufacturing. This is the all-in strategy. You're not partnering, you're not just shipping, you're building your own factories, your own marketing teams right there in the new country. The commitment, the risk, it's huge. But so is the control you get. And this can pay off big time by cutting down costs like shipping and taxes, and it gives you a serious on-the-ground presence. And finally, a less common but still important one, management contracts. With this one, you're not really selling a physical product. You're selling your brain power, your expertise. You provide the skilled managers to run someone else's operation in another country. You see this a lot when a local company has the money, but not the specific technical know-how. And this right here, this really boils it all down to the fundamental trade-off. Just look at the two ends of the spectrum. You've got exporting, low risk, low commitment, but also very little control. Then you have manufacturing, sky-high risk and commitment, but guess what? You're in complete control. Every other strategy we just talked about falls somewhere on that line between those two extremes. So, you've picked your entry strategy. You're feeling good. But the journey is really just beginning, because now you have to navigate the actual terrain. And let me tell you, it is filled with obstacles and challenges that are completely out of your hands. See, back in your home market, you don't even think about this stuff. But once you go international, everything, and I mean everything, is different. You've got totally new cultural rules, a whole different legal system, and you're dealing with different economic conditions, different levels of technology. Every single one of these variables is like a potential landmine just waiting for you if you're not paying attention. And out of all those uncontrollable factors, culture is the big one. It's the final boss. This quote here really nails it. Culture isn't just about what language people speak or what holidays they celebrate. It's the entire blueprint for how people live. It shapes what they buy, why they buy it, everything. And if you miss this, if you don't get the culture, you are not going to succeed. Period. Which brings us to the final and maybe most important part of this whole thing. Dealing with all this complexity, it's not just about having a better plan or a better map. It's about having a completely different mindset, a whole new way of looking at the world.
Pretty much every single company that decides to expand internationally gets to a point where someone in a meeting asks this exact question. Okay, team, so which country do we go into first?
And here's the kicker. The simple, kind of shocking truth is, that's the wrong question. It's a total trap, and so many businesses fall right into it. Just think about Canada for a second. You might think, oh, Canada, one country, one market. But is it? No way. From a marketing point of view, you're looking at least 3 totally different markets. You've got English-speaking Canada, you have the French-speaking market in Quebec, and then you have massive Mandarin-speaking communities. These people are not the same customers, and you can't talk to them in the same way. Or how about Switzerland? It's a tiny country, but you can't just run one ad campaign and call it a day. You've got 4 distinct linguistic markets crammed in there: French, German, Italian, and even Romansh. That's 4 markets, not one country. So this is the big reveal, the crucial insight. You have to force yourself to stop thinking about the lines on a political map. You have to start seeing the world in terms of cultural and linguistic markets. The right question is never which country first, it's which market first. That's the mindset shift. That's the whole game. And this table here just lays out how much things blow up in complexity. When you're just domestic, maybe you have one core market segment, one main ad message. But internationally, you're multiplying everything. Suddenly, deep market research isn't just a nice-to-have, it's absolutely critical. And you can't just use the same product or the same ad everywhere. You have to adapt again and again for every single new market. So what this all comes down to is that real success requires a genuine global mindset. And what that means is getting your entire company focused on opportunities and needs as they exist across the globe, market by market, culture by culture, not just country by country. And that kind of brings us full circle, right back to where we started, but with a whole new layer to it. Your product might be fantastic, it might be ready to ship anywhere in the world, but the real question, the one you have to ask yourself, is your mindset ready for the world?